Yo, what's going on everyone? In today's video, I'm going to be ranking all 36 evolutions in Clash Royale right now. This is going to go all the way up to the newest evolution, the Evo Baby Dragon. Alright, let's get started. At the number 36 spot for the worst evolution in Clash Royale, it's going to be the Goblin Drill. It's been like this for months and months now. Supercell hasn't given it any buffs, any reworks, not sure what they're going to do with the card. It's just pretty useless. Just use the regular Goblin Drill and save your Evo spot for another evolution. It's just a terrible card. No reason to use it. Next up at number 35 is the Evo Bomber. Another pretty useless evolution. It's pretty much a free King Tower activation. It's just a pretty terrible card. I hope it gets a buff. Alright, both of those evolutions I have in the F tier. I think every evolution after this point actually has some use and is actually somewhat good in the right deck or in the right hands, but these bottom two evolutions are just terrible, no reason to run them. Starting off the C tier, we have the evolution Lumberjack. Just not a great card. Ever since they changed it to a 2-cycle evolution, it's just not been great. It's pretty hard to get value with. It's a lot better mid-ladder, but once you start getting to Ultimate Champion to top 10,000, it is pretty difficult to use. Next up at number 33 is the evolution Skeletons. If you use it right, they can be pretty good, but there's just so many evolutions that are way better than the evolution Skeletons. They were especially bad last season before the Goblin Curse nerf, but there's a little bit less Goblin Curse, makes them a little bit better, but I still think they're one of the worst evolutions in the game. Now at 32, I have the evolution Barbs. I've been seeing a little bit more evolution Barbs in the meta just because it is such a heavy beatdown meta, but it is still a really matchup dependent card. It can usually just be a negative elixir trade, so it's not really a great evolution. At number 31, I have the evolution Hunter, and I don't think evolution Hunter is a bad evolution. It just hasn't really been used that much in this meta. I think ever since the Vine spell came out, it's just really struggled. And even in decks where you'd normally see it, like Royal Giant, well, that's pretty much the only deck you normally see it in, but even Royal Giant decks haven't really been playing Evolution Hunter. They've been playing other cards like Evolution Furnace, Evolution Baby Dragon, and they've also been using Vines, so not a whole lot of Evolution Hunter going around. Now at number 30 is the Evolution Musketeer. You just don't see a whole lot of Evolution Musketeer, besides Hog 2.6 and 2.9 Minor Balloon, but that's about it. You don't really see a lot of Hog 2.6 anymore. So Evolution Musketeer, still a really high skill ceiling card, just not very common you see it in the meta. Alright, this is how the tier list is looking so far. I think the C tier is really just cards that aren't completely useless. You can get a little bit of value in the right matchup or if you use it right, but just not good compared to most evolutions in the game right now. Interestingly enough, at number 29, I have the Evolution Wizard. And when you look at the last couple months tier list, Evolution Wizard has always been in the bottom two tiers. But I think this month, he's actually been making a little bit of a comeback. I've been seeing him paired a lot with Monk and a little bit of Royal Giant, some Hog Rider decks. So he's just gotten a little bit better. I think he's better than the other two 4 elixir evolutions below him, the Hunter and the Musketeer. I've been seeing him a bit more. So for that reason, for the first time in a very long time, he's going to be making an appearance in the B tier. Next up at number 28, I have the Evolution Firecracker. And I think the Evolution Firecracker is still a good evolution. It's just hard to play with how much vines there are in the meta. The vines can take it out so easily. So I think relative to that, it definitely moves it down in the tier list. It can definitely still get value, and I think if we were in a different type of meta, Evolution Firecracker would be a lot higher, but for now I'm going to have it at 28. Next up I have the Evolution Archers, and the reason I put the Archers all the way down here, even though in months prior they've been pretty high up, I think similarly to the Firecracker, the vines are just so effective at taking out both of the archers at once. So it really limits what the archers can do in this meta, just because there's just so much vines. I know I keep talking about it, but I mean the card had pretty much up to a 60% usage rate not too long ago. It's just, you see it so much. It's hard not to have an impact on pretty much evolution on this list. Coming in at number 26 is the evolution Ice Spirit. Still a good evolution, just not really a huge cycle meta right now. Nothing really to say about it. It's just not as good as the other evolutions ahead of it. Coming in next, I have the Electro Dragon. I think the Electro Dragon definitely benefits a lot from this meta because there's so much beatdown, there's so much Golem, there's so much Goblin Giant. The Electro Dragon can be really effective at just taking out big beatdown pushes. So I don't really think it's that good of an evolution, but it's just so strong against what we're seeing a lot of right now. So for that reason, it's going to be at the number 25 spot. The evolution Mega Knight, yes, it can be pretty tricky to play against, but as far as value goes, it's honestly just really matchup dependent, and it's not super strong compared to other bigger evolutions like the evolution Goblin Giant, the evolution P.E.K.K.A. Just heavy elixir evolutions like that are just doing better in the meta than evolution Mega Knight. So for that reason, it's going to be at number 24. Evolution Cage is just one of those evolutions that's so matchup dependent. It honestly depends on what kind of deck you're playing, but it has been a pretty decent evolution right now. So for that reason, I'm going to have it at the number 23 spot. At number 22 is the evolution Battle Ram. It just pairs really good with P.E.K.K.A. and bridge spam decks. I think it's pretty solid in the meta right now. Definitely a good evolution if you know what you're doing and you're good with bridge spam. So for that reason, I'm going to have it at number 22. At number 21 is the evolution P.E.K.K.A. I think the evolution P.E.K.K.A. does really good in evolution Goblin Giant decks, but in just regular P.E.K.K.A. decks, you would see like P.E.K.K.A. bridge spam decks like that aren't as strong. But I think the evolution P.E.K.K.A. is definitely still a really good evolution. Alright, and we're finally in the top 20. At number 20, the evolution Dark Goblin. Now, the evolution Dark Goblin is just one of those cards that gets really affected by the Bind spell. It's still a good evolution, just it's a little bit harder to play in this meta. Alright, I think our B tier is looking pretty good. I think this is pretty much the start of evolutions that get a decent amount of value. They're pretty good to play. You can't go wrong with playing any of them. So let's head into the 8 tier. Just inside our top 20, at number 19, the evolution Bats. And the evolution Bats are super good. They've been good for the last couple of months. But because minions are so strong, they kind of make the Bats a little bit obsolete. So for that reason, I put them at number 19. You can't go wrong with using them, but I think minions are just so much better right now. At number 18, I have the evolution Knight, and I really think the evolution Knight is such a good evolution, but you don't really see it in a whole lot of decks. The main one I can think of is graveyard decks, and I think graveyard is pretty strong in the meta right now, but you don't really see it around too much, so for that reason, I'm going to put it probably a little lower than I thought I would at number 18. At number 17, I have the evolution Mortar. If you know how to play evolution Mortar, it's just really consistent, really good. There's a couple of different decks that it's really good in. I don't think it's as good as it was last couple of seasons, but it's still a pretty solid evolution, so for that reason, I'm going to put it at number 17. Next up, I have the evolution Tesla, and the evolution Tesla is so strong on defense. It's good against minions, which minions are super strong, like I've said before, so that's really good. I don't think it's as good as evolution Cannon. Spoiler alert, evolution Cannon's ranked pretty high on my list, but I think the evolution Tesla definitely has its struggles, but it's still a really solid evolution. Can't go wrong with using it on defense. Starting off our top 15, I have evolution Goblin Barrel. Evolution Goblin Barrel is one of my favorite evolutions. I used to use log bait for my first couple of finishes inside the top 10k. It's just really good split lane pressure. I don't think we're in a super heavy log bait meta right now, but it's still just such a really good evolution. If you know how to use it, or if you know how to play log bait, you can pretty much consistently beat any deck. It's just really strong. So I'm going to have it in the top 15. And speaking of split lane pressure, no card showcases more split lane pressure than the evolution Royal Recruits at number 14. Not much to say. They're just really solid evolution. Can't go wrong with using them. Now at 13, the Evolution Royal Giant makes a pretty big leap compared to last month's Evolution ranking. I think Evolution Royal Giant just pairs really good with Baby Dragon. So for that reason, it's going to be coming in at number 13, just a really strong evolution. If you're good at Royal Giant, you can pretty much get pretty high up in rank. At number 12 is the Evolution Skeleton Barrel. Now this card has pretty consistently been one of the best evolutions in the game ever since its release. It's just really good in mortar decks. There's a lot of different things it's really good with, and it's especially good with the Evolution Baby Dragon because it speeds it up. It just makes it really fast, really hard to deal with at once. So for that reason, it's going to be at number 12. At number 11, I have the Evolution Zap. Now this card is just so good in beatdown decks and Goblin Giant decks. I would say it even used to be better last season paired with Goblin Curse, but it's still just super good. You see it in Golem, Goblin Giant, Mega Knight, just so many different decks it works so well in. Now kicking off our top 10 is the Evolution Goblin Giant, and this deck has just been such a problem in the last couple of metas. I think some people will definitely argue it needs to be higher, and I do think the Evolution Goblin Giant is one of the best evolutions, but I think a big problem with it is some of the support cards like the Evolution Furnace, the Evolution Baby Dragon, the Evolution P.E.K.K.A. Just a lot of different cards. When it all comes together, just makes it super strong. So for that reason, I have it starting off our top 10. It's just super good. If this was before the emergency nerf, I would definitely have the Evolution Goblin Giant probably top 4. But after the emergency nerf, I think it's definitely a little bit worse, but it's still super strong. At number 9 is probably one of the best defensive evolutions in the game, is the Evolution Valkyrie. It's just so strong on defense. Nothing to really say about it. It can pretty much counter pretty much anything. It's just super strong. Now the last card I have in A tier is going to be the Evolution Witch. I think the Evolution Witch definitely benefits a lot because of the meta, wherein it is good in beatdown, but the main reason it is so high is because of the Vine spell. The Evolution Witch is kind of like a counter to the Vine spell because it just heals when the skeletons die, and the vines will target the skeletons. It just makes it really good. I think if we were in a bit of a different meta, it would be a little bit lower, but for that reason, it's going to be pretty high up at number 8. Alright, that's going to be every card in A tier. Our A tier is definitely the biggest tier. I think it just shows how good, or just how many evolutions are really good in the meta right now. Alright, starting off, the best of the best, S tier is going to be the Evolution Executioner at number 7. This card paired with Tornado is just super strong, can pretty much counter any push, especially beatdown. It works so well in bridge spam, beatdown, a lot of different decks. So for that reason, I definitely do believe it deserves a spot in S tier at number 7. Alright, in the highest ranked building in this list, obviously because Evo Furnace is not a building anymore, but the Evolution Cannon at number 6. And this card is just super strong. Every time they nerf it, it still feels like it just gets so much value. It's really good against log bait. It's not as strong against beatdown, but it's definitely a really card that gets value no matter how you use it. So for that reason, I definitely believe it should be at number 6. Inside our top 5 now, I have the Evolution Furnace, and this card did get nerfed last season. It changed the spawn speed when it attacks to make it a little bit slower, but I still feel like the Evolution Furnace is one of the best evolutions in the game. It's not used as much anymore, but it's still really strong. So for that reason, it's going to start off our number 5. At number 4 is going to be the Evolution Snowball. And this card has just been so consistently good the last couple of seasons. It synergizes so well in a couple of different decks, but the main thing you're going to see it in is going to be Goblin Drill. It just synergizes so well with it, and pretty much guaranteed damage. You can't go wrong with playing Goblin Drill. I think it's one of the safest decks in the game. So for that reason, it's going to be at number 4, just outside our top 3, but definitely deserving of one of the strongest evolutions. Alright, now we're into the top 3. I think this is the holy grail of evolutions, the top 3 evolutions in the game. And to start it off, it's going to be the Evolution Wall Breakers. This card just sees so much use. It has so much offensive firepower, and you can even use it on defense sometimes if you're really in a pinch, but it's just such a strong evolution. It's pretty much always going to get you a positive elixir trade against your opponent. It takes care of your opponent's buildings, and you can use a lot of different cards with it, like Mortar, Miner. You can use it in Log Bait with a Goblin Barrel, Skeleton Barrel, pretty much anything. This card's just so solid, fits in anywhere. Alright, and I've been saying this for a while, but I think the evolution Inferno Dragon is still one of the strongest evolutions in the game. I have it at number 2. Not the strongest, I think we all know what the strongest evolution right now is, but it's super strong. It fits in a lot of different decks, and the fact that it just carries its charge from troop to troop makes it so hard to deal with, especially behind a beatdown push. So for that reason, I think it's the second best evolution in the game. If it wasn't for the newest evolution, it would be number 1. At number 1 is going to be the newest evolution, Evolution Baby Dragon. And for the last couple of months, every time Supercell releases a new evolution, it becomes the best evolution in the game. Just saying. I think this card is super strong. It fits into pretty much any deck. Goblin Giant, it fits into Golem, it fits into Royal Giant. I've even seen it used in Hog Rider decks, Piggy decks. I've seen it used in Ram Rider P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam. It's just so good everywhere. Being able to slow down on defense is super strong, but mostly the offensive ability of just being able to speed up your troops makes it just really good on both sides of offense and defense. So for that reason, I think it's the best evolution in the game. Alright, that's going to be my final list of the evolutions for the month of September. Let me know what you think down below, and please leave a like and subscribe. I post a video like this every single month, and I really try to take time to listen to feedback in the comments and respond to every reply I get. So please leave a like, subscribe, let me know what you agree with, disagree with, and I'll see you next time.